I wanted to make a full commitment for it to be serious, and I think that should be the attitude of all Olympians and Paralympians, and I think that's what our American citizens want. You want us to be the highest standard of expertise, the higher standard of commitment, of attitude, of on and off the court. So again, that was something I thoroughly embraced, and it led to this murder ball movie and things of that nature. But again, these all provided a platform to talk about our faith, to talk about all the great things the Lord has done for me and has provided, and just as He's provided for me, no doubt to provide for all of us. So, family-friendly version. Oh, yeah, Murder Ball. It's a movie about our bronze medal team that went to the Paralympics in 2004. It's a bunch of guys that compete, so it is a rated R movie, and so there's viewer discretion. And when it was on Life on the Rock, I think it was Father Francis that kept saying, "This movie is not endorsed by the church," and he showed a clip of it, and once again, this movie is not endorsed by the church. So there was a PG version, but just when your kids become adults. Well, yes, and I was very thankful that they did represent me in a good light. I'm just a regular blue-collar guy that has to work to pay mortgage, to pay bills, to pay car note. That was how I was portrayed, and actually that's how a lot of our athletes are that play wheelchair rugby and play wheelchair sports. A lot of them are just working-class people that have families, are involved in their church. So I was very glad that I was represented in that way. So thank you to the producers for that. So, yes, Father Booth.
Is there a special wheelchair for rugby?
Yes, there is. This is my everyday chair, completely different from the wheelchair rugby chair. It's my everyday chair is 20 pounds. The rugby chair is 40 pounds. The rugby chair is made out of aluminum metal that has a ramrod in the front. It has spoke guards on the side. The wheels are cambered, so they're not straight up and down. There's a wheelie bar in the back that prevents you from falling backwards. So, it's made for hitting, for slamming into people. It's full contact. It's not for the meek, although we do have women that play, and not to say that women are meek, but it is for yes, meek is a good class. But there are women that play. There's just not as many because they're not as stupid as men are, and so. But it's here at Lakeshore Foundation. We have a tournament at the end of January every year, last weekend in January. You're more than welcome to come to Lakeshore Foundation to see what it's all about. And throughout the year, if you go to lakeshore.org, you can find when the U.S. team will be in. Actually, matter of fact, the U.S. team is in town this weekend. So if you're interested, just stop by to see how wheelchair rugby is played. So, any other questions about anything? Yes. Yeah, what was the most challenging part about going through my disability? Well, the most difficult part is the mental aspect, is realizing, I don't have hands and legs. This is how I'm going to be the rest of my life. And again, that's where my dad came into play. People would laugh and point and stare. And he had a very unique way of making the situation light, of making a joke out of it, and sometimes turning it on the person that's laughing and pointing and staring. And really what he was doing was lightening the situation. So, I never saw my dad get upset or embarrassed that he had a child with a disability. So if he's not upset and embarrassed, then there's no reason for me to be upset and embarrassed. And so again, the part of the family value of keeping your head up no matter what difficulties life may be, moving forward, making light of the situation, knowing that God is in control, knowing God's going to provide. So again, that was a value that he taught, and that's what helped change the mental aspect, and from that moment on, it's been smooth sailing. So.
I've seen Bob working with children. Do you still work with kids at the foundation?
Do I still work with kids with disability at Lakeshore? I got moved into a different department. It's more on information, resource information. I'm on the computer a lot. The objective, I still reach, though, people with disabilities. The objective is, with my department, it's called NCPAD, the National Center on Health, Physical Activity and Disability. The acronym is NCPAD, NCHPAD. If you go to ncpad.org, You can see some of the work that myself and other information specialists do. The objective is to disseminate health information, health resources to people with disabilities. And whether it be fact sheets, whether it be a blog, I'm in charge of a blog, and also produce videos, exercise videos, public service announcements, just information to get to people with disabilities. I'll get a phone call or an email. Hey Bob, I live in Cleveland. I just broke my chair. Where do I get a new wheelchair? You know, things of that nature. So my job is to get that information to them. When working with kids, it's more on a volunteer basis now, so I have no problem interacting with them, and just sometimes I just, get away from the computer and let me just go out there and just have fun for one day. So, I'll do that from time to time. So.
Very good with kids.
Oh, thank you. Any other questions about anything? Okay. Again, it's my honor to be here. Continue teaching family values. Continue teaching our faith to your children. And I see some of them here today, and obviously you are. And hopefully they'll continue teaching what you've taught them and teach their own families. So thank you very much.